What up YouTube, part 2 of this deck profile, my own water synchro stuff. Yep, so we did the main deck, we're getting onto the extra deck, then I'll sort of go through some of the plays and stuff. So the extra deck I actually made myself. Like, I mean, it's pretty obvious, everything's pretty standard, so nothing really to worry about here. Or like, you can change a few cards if you don't like them for some reason. Everything I've pretty much used once, so there's probably not a card in here I haven't used yet, so everything's been useful, so I think this extra deck's quite good. Yeah, so 3 Formula Synchron. They should have fucking put this in the turbo. How pimpin' is that? Absolutely ridiculous. I can't believe they didn't reprint that as a foil. So good. 3 Formula Synchron. This is probably the one card I've been so happy to play with while I've been in Japan. Just a super formula. I always get it out. 3 Formula, obvious reasons. Treeborn, it's so broken. This card has to get hit by the list. This card is so unfair. Just keep drawing, tuner, everything. Like, synchro on their turn. It's just dumb. It's the reason why this deck even has a shot of being good. It's because this card's so fucking powerful. Fishball, Treeborn, yeah, we know how to get those out. 2 Check Genius Hyper Librarians. A master comes out, like 2 of them. When you're winning the game, these both will always come out in that game pretty much. Yeah, they're obviously the nuts. They're broken. Librarians, they're just unbelievable. Dumb card. I'm not really going to go into it. It's like talking about Monster Reborn pretty much. Armory Arm, you go into it a lot. I actually thought about putting in a second Armory Arm because sometimes I'd randomly need 2. I'd look in my grave, I wouldn't have a pot. If some like pot was still in deck or something, or multiple pots were still in deck. But Armory Arm was needed because you go into it with Oyster and Fishborg, and you go into the level 4 and you randomly need this like guy a lot. This guy also equips to your win condition, shooting Quasi Dragon to confirm like the win, because it means you can swing over monsters and it'll be game, like obviously indefinitely. But Armory Arm comes out a lot. It also comes out for the extra synchro for the draws for Librarian, and then re-equips to fill up, to empty a monster space on board. Absolutely critical in the deck, Armory Arm. Catastor as another level 5. It's my 3rd level 5 with the other 2 Librarians. This guy comes out sometimes. You know, like, he's awesome. Like, obviously Catastor, like, you hit random Hyperions and shit with this guy. You have to have him in your extra reeling pretty much. He's pretty much a staple. Yeah, he's been really good with me. Really good for me. You go sometimes when you're Librarian, sometimes he's bottomless, or yeah, bottomless. I've had games where one's been bottomless or something like that, and the only way for me to go into like Quasi, if I needed to go into Quasi, was with Librarian and Catastor, which is absolutely fine as well. Brownic, staple, comes out a lot. Absolutely ridiculous. It's a water monster. It's even got extra synergy in this deck because you've got heaps of stuff you want to pitch, and you can go into Black Rose with a Fishborg if need be. Black Rose Dragon kills so many bad players. Like, good players vanquish bad players with this card. Like, it's just blow up the board all the fucking time. Like, just win. That card. Arcanite Magician. For those times where you have a form, it's pretty self-explanatory. Formula Librarian makes Arcanite Magician. Comes out a fair bit. Sometimes, like, you know, if you need it. Random get into situations where when you need the Arcanite to pop stuff, and Librarian, like, maybe redundant. Just, it's a board clearer that, you know, you don't need when you can't use Black Rose and you've got other synchros on board and stuff. This guy comes out with your spare Formula and Librarian, which pretty much you're just floating the whole time, and you just like bring it out in D, pop, maybe bulb, make a level 8. Happens all the time. I really like Arcanite right now in this deck, and in a lot of other decks too, to be frank. Stardust, obvious reasons. It's a really sick level 8. You're playing Shooting Star and stuff, so it's essential. You need this card. Stardust, obviously. It's probably been the least thing I've gotten out, probably with Arcanite. These 2, probably the least, but still probably like at least, you know, over like probably like the 400, 500 games I played with this deck. At least I've got these out, 10 or 20 times each, roughly between those numbers. Scrap Dragon, the best level 8 in the game, pretty much. It's ridiculous. Scrap is so nuts. Trish for Orbit. Trish, the best synchro. What can you say? Trish. DT. It's Chris Dawson's. That's why he's close up of it, doing that. Trish, DT. Trish. Great card. Shooting Star, because it's actually nothing to do with shooting Quasi Dragon. You don't actually need this card if you're playing shooting Quasi Dragon. It doesn't mean you need it. It just means, but the thing is that you make so many formulas, it's just random, and he actually gets there a lot. Like Shooting Star is really, really good. He gets underrated sometimes. Like sometimes you go, fuck Shooting Star's dog shit wise and my extra. It's really good in this deck, especially in this deck, I guess. And Quasi Dragon, which is soon to be out in the TCG. It's coming in the magazine. Fantastic. I seriously, with playing with this card, I just found this, with all this bullshit, oh yeah, you can do it with 2 librarians and a formula. This card is so fucking retarded. It's so unfair. It's so bullshitly good. I just love playing with this card. It's just you don't even need to think. You bring it out and they're you're still got the mitt full of cards and you can do a bunch of other stuff during the turn, and they just can admit defeat instantly on dual network because you can't beat this guy. He's the nuts. I've never lost. If I make this guy and I lose, I'll probably quit Yu-Gi-Oh. It's too good. For the side deck, look, the tournament I played today, I guess yesterday, now was randomly a 1-game tournament, which was it's dual network sort of type thing, but in real life. It was some free entry tournament. We were just there for the lulz. We were there trading and chilling, and caught up with some people in Japan that we knew. So yeah, I was building a board, and then I got told that there were single games, 1 duel. I kind of just did this really rushed. It was literally in 30 seconds. This board does not stick. I probably wouldn't even play this board in hindsight. But I'll give you the rough idea of what I had in my mind when I thought.